The 2021 Ford Bronco hits the dyno, so we get official numbers at the tires. Horsepower, torque, very exciting. And we also have an update on the New York Auto Show. That one, not so exciting. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Kevin. I'm very excited to talk about the 2021 Ford Bronco dyno numbers. Late model restoration, aka LMR, has put the 2021 Ford Bronco with the 2.3 liter four-cylinder on the dyno, so we get actual horsepower torque numbers. But first, before we get into that, I want to talk about the New York Auto Show. We have an update on that. Not so happy about this one. New York Auto Show is canceled yet again. But there are conflicting stories here. Now, that is the initial report from Car and Driver and multiple other articles. You feel free to search them all because they're all reporting it. But I'm also hearing that the real reason that the New York Auto Show was canceled is that there were only 10 automakers and or brands that were going to show up, who were actually scheduled to be there. That is about a fifth of the size that the auto show is expected to be. So is it really pandemic related, or is it just a lack of participation? The only thing we do know is that it is canceled yet again. But the bigger news behind this is there were 3 vehicles set to debut at the New York Auto Show, one of which being the 2022 Subaru WRX, the 2022 Nissan 400Z, or just Nissan Z, and then we had the 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee hybrid plug-in model, the 4xe. We don't know what's going to happen with these debuts now. The set date for the Subaru WRX was August 19th. The date for the Nissan 400Z was August 17th. And as far as the Jeep Grand Cherokee was concerned, there was no debut date listed. So we don't know what's going to happen with these debut dates. Is there going to be a different platform in which they're going to reveal them, or are we just going to put them off altogether? I can't imagine that being the case because the vehicle's got to debut one way or another. And as of right now, the New York Auto Show says the new scheduled date is spring of 2022. I don't see the automakers waiting that long to debut the vehicles, so they'll probably find a different way to go about doing it. Now, let's talk about the 2021 Ford Bronco, the horsepower and torque numbers more specifically. LMR, also known as late model restoration, has put the 2.3 liter turbo four-cylinder Bronco on the dyno. Now, this Bronco is the 4-door and is equipped with the Sasquatch package, so the bigger 35-inch tires. That's significant because that is going to cause the most power drain. It is going to be the heavier version, being the 4-door. And speaking of heavier, just to give you an idea of weight, according to Ford, the 4-door 2.3 model can weigh anywhere from 4,500 pounds to 5,226 pounds, depending on equipment. So let's split the difference and say 4,800. We'll go in the middle of the road, 4,800 pounds. And that is with the 2.3. And while on regular gas, the horsepower and torque numbers are rated at 275 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Basically the same as the Ford Ranger, considering they do share the same engine. But those horsepower and torque numbers will jump up if you choose to run 93 octane. If you do that, your horsepower number is now 300 and torque is 325. Now, this Bronco did have the 10-speed automatic transmission, not the manual. So this has to be run in 7th gear for a 1-to-1 ratio. So when it made a dyno pull, the Bronco put down 225.37 horsepower at the tires at 4,750 RPM and 303.92 pound-feet of torque at 3,410 RPMs. That's not bad numbers at all. I'm not disappointed with that, again, especially with the Sasquatch package and 35-inch tires. The one issue they have run into with this now, these numbers could be a little bit higher. Now, LMR did state that at the top of the dyno pool, they did hit the speed limiter. So, although the numbers are pretty impressive, they could probably be a lot better. Now, just to show how far along we've come with technology and things like that, LMR also had a 1996 Ford Bronco on hand, equipped with the 351 Windsor V8, and it put down 165 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque. So I'd say even the 2.3 liter four-cylinder is making massive gains even over the 351 V8 that was back in the 90s. So although we expect an awful lot these days from vehicles, I think those numbers are pretty decent. And with the 2.3 turbos, or any EcoBoost for that matter, these things are so bottled up from a factory that with a simple tune you could get a significant amount of horsepower and torque out of it. Probably 60 pound-feet of torque and 40 some more horsepower. I'm ballparking. I've seen a broad range across the spectrum. But long story short, this is just the beginning of what the potential could be in these Broncos. So leave your comments down below. What do you think of the horsepower torque numbers of the Bronco? Also, are you disappointed that the New York Auto Show is canceled yet again? And what vehicle that was debuting are you most excited to see? Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the content. Hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up on more automotive news and content. I'm Kevin, and I'll catch you in the next upload.